1 minute remaining for changes to the first attempt for Group B.
Good morning, day 1 of 6 from the Dubai 2021 Powerlifting World Cup.
Representing Japan also, Hiroshi Miura.
Good morning, day 1 of 6 of the Dubai 2021 Powerlifting World Cup as Tokyo 2020 and the Paralympic Games comes ever closer. This is what we have for you on day 1, the opening session, the men's 49 kg, the women's 45 kg, and then women's events into the afternoon. Good morning from Will Downing. And a very familiar Japan national coach. A lot more about the coaches and the lifters throughout the week. This is the men's 49 kg event. The top 8 in the rankings heading to Tokyo and the Paralympic Games. A world record holder, Lee Van Kong, with that 183.5, the junior world record held by Ali Izzadi of around 140 kg. So here's Group B, 5 going in this. We have a local lifter as well from the United Arab Emirates, Khalid Al Abdullah. Lifters from Kyrgyzstan, Japan and Poland also in this Group B. We've got 6 to go in Group A a little bit later. Our referees, Conrado Brunacci of Brazil, Fatih Leshahab of Libya and Martin Chapla of Slovakia. Oh, it's a great location. We have this for the FASA World Cup every year in multiple sports, in powerlifting, in athletics, archery, and so on. But this venue also used for the 2014 World Powerlifting Championships. But this venue also recently, the World Para Athletics Championships, outside in the athletic stadium next door. It's part of the Dubai Club of Determination. So cut-off point at the moment, if you're outside the rankings for the Paralympic Games, the road to Tokyo, it's 147 kg. It's Choi Kun-jin who is in that position, and he is in this competition today. There are quite a few outside the top 8 who are in this as well, who are trying to break through that 147 kg barrier. As usual, it is a very full week, one of the best World Cup events around, brilliant international competition. And there's no doubting we should be seeing some great stuff this week. So our first competitor from the United Arab Emirates, Khalid Al Abdullah, going for 48. Well, it's appropriate that with the United Arab Emirates hosting that they provide the first competitor of the week. And it is no lift. And 2-1 going against.
Loaders, please load the bar to 73 kilograms, rack height 11.
So next up for Kyrgyzstan, a lifter again who we've not seen in a major championship previously. He's only 18 years old. So welcome to the big stage, Tamerlan Ruslan Ulu. $73 kilos his target, and obviously the situation that we have, as has been the case in all sports for the past 15 months, a lot less people on site. And the crowd's restricted as well. So Tamerlan Ruslan Ulu.
The only junior athlete of this competition.
And so his first opportunity to make a name for himself, 73 kg his target in this opening round. Ruslan Ulu. For him, a very significant target. And for him, a significant result. It's a good lift. And it's a whiteout. Couple of new terms for you. 3 white lights, now referred to as a whiteout. 3 reds as a strikeout. Ruslan Ulu not having to worry about the latter. And they can target something extra in round 2. Nice, solid, smooth action. Great result for Tamirlan Ruslan Ulu. He's on the board. And now the weights are getting a lot more significant. See the new modern logo for the FASA Championships and the multiple sports in train. It's such an action-packed few weeks usually across all the sports. Bit of rack action being instigated.
For the first attempt representing Japan,
Tetsu Nishizaki of Japan. First attempt is 133, having originally aimed for 131. The Japan national coach, John Amos, magnificently experienced. Nishizaki has lifted 138 in targeting a spot in the top 8 for the Tokyo Paralympic Games starting the end of August. So 133 to start his competition. Nishizaki was 7th at the last World Championships in Nur Sultan. Silver in the World Cup in Manchester earlier this year. Perfect! White out! All 3 officials happy, and Nishizaki at 133 kilos clears the opening attempt and does it in good style. Great technique. And a bow for you as well, as that was a lovely lift. Good and smooth, good and clean, and seemed to be so. It's a lot more public these days in terms of what the referees are looking for in terms of body position, bar control, chest sequence and press sequence. At the championships at least. Hiroshi Miura now for Japan, 133 in this opening round. He's not had a top 10 finish in a World Championships previously. Miura currently 131 is his best result in terms of chasing the Tokyo ticket. 147 is the 8th spot for Tokyo. Fifth in the Paralympic Games in Rio. He's made it to 2 Paralympics already. Silver in the Rio World Cup event in the Karaoke Arena in 2016, and the run-up to the Paralympic Games there, the big test event at the start of 2016. So Hiroshi Miura for 133. That'll do. 2 of the 3 in his favour. A good lift for the 2 Japanese athletes. It's been a very positive opening round so far. 3 out of the 4 lifts have been good. Good and positive, and aiming for 138 in round 2. So the last attempt of this opening round, Sławomir Szymanski of Poland, the European bronze medalist from Bergsamir in 2018, silver in the previous Europeans in Eger in 2015, bronze in this Faza World Cup 3 years ago, and his best result globally, the Global Championship, 5th in the 2006 World Championships. He's been on the scene that long. Only 1 Paralympic Games he's competed in. That was at Beijing in 2008. 133 his first round attempt. 132 his season's best. And Poland having staged a very well organised and brilliant European Para Athletics Championships a few weeks ago. Not tidy at all. A strikeout. 3 red lights, and he had problems with keeping that clean. Definitely in terms of the body position, really. The bar control wasn't fully there. Hadn't been straight all the way up. As we go into round 2, and Khalid Al Abdullah of the United Arab Emirates missed out. In the opening round with his attempt of 48.
For the second attempt representing United Arab Emirates, Khalid Al Abdullah.
Al Abdullah is 26 years old. Well, he's going up. 50 is target now. Obviously, he had the confidence that he wasn't that far away in the opening round, and he will feel again that he wasn't that far away. But the three people who counted don't agree. A strikeout, all three giving it the thumbs down. One more attempt to go. And in danger of bombing out with no mark. So Al Abdullah in a little bit of bother early on. Ishizaki and Miura with the best lift to date of 133 each. Now, Temilan Ruslan Ulu of Kyrgyzstan. Cleared 73 perfectly, and that was a whiteout. All three lights, all three officials in his favour. So he's gone up to 80 kilos now. So our first two lifters who we've seen today making their big bow in international competition and hopefully getting into championship competition at some point. So this is an attempt at 80 for Temilan Ruslan Ulu, at least as coach is very confident going into it considering the slap in the chest that he gave his man. He can give another one now. Good lift for Ruslan Ulu. Cleared 73. He's good at 80 as well. And that keeps him in third place. Two to one in Ruslan Ulu's favour, and they can keep raising the bar and keep raising the target. Missed out at 133 last time, going for it again now. Sławomir Szymanski of Start Wrocław of Poland from Opole. Two European Championship medals to his name in his career. So 133 to get on the board. And it was what's now called a strikeout. All three red lights against him. At 133. Last one was a real struggle. That one looked a little bit cleaner. A lot cleaner. That's a whiteout. And Szymanski gets his 133. His best result of the season that might claw him up a place in the Paralympic ranking, and puts him on the board here. All three referees liking that.
But he's loaded for his second attempt, representing Japan, Tutsu Nishizaki.
Two more lifts to come in this round, both for Japan. Tetsuo Nishizaki having cleared 133, and that threw a white out. All three referees giving him the thumbs up. 137 is Nishizaki's target now. His colleague Miura going slightly higher, if he can. Nishizaki with multiple Japanese titles to his name. No mark when he was at the Rio Paralympic Games, bombing out. 3 lifts, 3 misses. Already on the board here. Nishizaki has lifted 138 this season. Just outside the top 8 in the Paralympic rankings. Didn't waste his time with that. Nice one. A whiteout. All 3 referees giving it their tacit approval. Nishizaki up to 137, and he is our new leader. Excellent.
But he's loaded for his second attempt, representing Japan, Hiroshi Miura.
It's never a breeze to lift something like this, but he's making it look good, and Miura the same last time, lifting 133, going for 138 here. He's lifted 131 this season, 147 needed to get into the top 8. To qualify for the Paralympic Games. Fifth event of the World Cup season. Bogota, Manchester, Bangkok, Tbilisi, and now Dubai to wrap up. Tokyo on the horizon. Hiroshi Miura aiming for 138. Didn't think they were likely to go for that. I think the chest sequence wasn't the best. It's all 3 against to strike out on this occasion for Miroshi. Homeward to think again for Miura. Not seen too many misses so far, really. Didn't look to be much of a visual stop in the chest there, so that's the current situation. Al Abdullah, the only one not to register a mark somehow. The names below him we'll see in Group A. Ishizaki leading in the moment with 137 ahead of Hiroshimura in second spot with 133. They will go higher in this third and final round. Khalid Al Abdullah for the United Arab Emirates. His final lift, trying to avoid bombing out and not to register a mark at all. He's missed at 48 and at 50. So Al Abdullah to get on the board. Bad news for him. He does strike out again. He does bomb out then. No mark registered. 2-1 against. It had probably looked the cleanest of the lot from him, but not clean enough. And he misses out and he doesn't register a mark.
Attention coaches, final call for any changes to the first attempt for Group A.
Press sequence bar not pressed upwards equally. Certainly from the head out on angle didn't look straight on the way up. So.
What is loaded for his third attempt representing Kyrgyzstan,
It's been a good run for Temilan Ruslanoglu so far for Kyrgyzstan, clearing 73 in the first round, 80 in the second, and now going for 82 with his third and final attempt. I like his profile photo. It's good and formal, the way to do it. He's been good and formal on stage as well. So Temilan Ruslanoglu at 82. He got it up there. And a whiteout, and he's 3 for 3. And he has done everything that he wanted to do. That was lovely. Good professional job by Temilan Ruslanoglu.
Attention coaches, no more changes to the first attempt for the next.
Turned 18 in February. He's got himself on the board 3 times. Nice lifting, good technique. And you can't ask any more than what he has done this morning.
is loaded. Representing for his third attempt, representing Japan, Hiroshi Miura.
M for Miura. Hiroshi Miura for Japan. Missed out in the previous round, and it was a strikeout. All three referees giving the red thumbs down at 138. He's coming out of the same weight here. The former concert and music technician, executive secretary of the Japanese Paralifting Federation. 7th in the Asia Oceania Championships in Kitakyushu in 2018 is best continental result globally. That 5th place finish in Rio. Did well, did very, very well.
1 minute.
Miura joint 13th in the Paralympics rankings. And this to match Tetsu Nishizaki's best lift of the Paralympic ranking season, 138. Only 4 places out of the top 8. Any injuries, obviously, in that top 8. If you don't make it, you've got a brilliant chance if you're lying 9th or 10th of competing in the Paralympic Games. It's a bit more of a struggle for him that time. But he's got there, and he made it work. 2 out of the 3 referees in his favour and liking it, and that's all he needed. Clears 138, that's his best of the season. By a long way, by 7 kilograms. Put some 9 kilos out of that top 8 for the Tokyo Paralympic Games. He's in touch if there are any dropouts.
The bar is loaded for his third and final attempt, representing Poland, Sławomir Śpiwanski.
That was a nice lift by Miura. So next up for Poland, Sławomir Szymanski. Targeting 138, having cleared 133. A whiteout, all 3 referees giving it the white light from them in round 2. To match Miura, his body weight is slightly heavier, so Miura would take that on the head-to-head in terms of the placings today. So 138 for Szymanski. He's lifted 132 in terms of his Paralympic ranking, which he's beaten already today. So 138 for Sławomir Szymanski for Poland. Two and against.
Shoulders please load the bar to 139 kilograms, rack height 13.
A bit halting. And whilst There was one angle where it looked good, from the other two it didn't. So 2-1 again, Szymanski. He improves his season's best to 133. And we have one lift to go in Group B. And Tetsuo Nishizaki was originally looking at 140, but now 139 his target. To put him above Miura. This would put him 12th outright in the Paralympic rankings, which, with the top 8 going to Tokyo, means he'd have to be relying on some mishap befalling those currently in the top 8. And obviously there's a few to come in Group A have got their eyes on that qualification target too. Anyway, Nishizaki, 139, and 2 very good lifts so far at 133 and 137. Generally a high finisher at continental level. A couple of 4th places at the Asia Oceania Championships and the Asian Games. A couple of 6th places at each as well. This for 139. This to go above his best result to date of 138. Well, he's got it raised. Do they like it? None of them. It's a strikeout. 137 is where he wraps up his competition, and it currently has him in 2nd position. Excellent. Good and clean for the first 2 rounds at 133 and 137. But not this time. And they all went against it. Miura, our leader after Group B, 138. Nishizaki in 2nd place, 137. Szymanski 3rd, 133. Nishizaki close to his best of the campaign. Just missing out on that by 1 kilo. The other 2 did manage to achieve a little boost to their Paralympics ranking. As we go into Group A. Six in Group A, and the first we'll see is Haj Ahmed Bayor of Algeria, African Games silver medalist twice over. Echo World Cup silver in 2017 in Hungary, at 12th in the last World Championships. It's 140 his target. 143 is his best in terms of the Paralympic ranking. 147 is the top 8, so he is targeting a spot in Tokyo today. So Haj Ahmed Bayar looking to start as he means to go on. That's all right. 2 out of 3 is favourite. Good lift. And Bayor at 140 comes close to the 143 that he's already recorded this season in his search for over 147. Nice lift.
The bar is loaded for his first attempt representing Republic of Korea, Kyun-Jin Choi.
Choi Kyun-Jin of Korea. The Paralympic bronze medalist in London 2012. Asian Games bronze medalist twice in 2006 and 2014. No mark in Rio. Bombed out. 3 attempts, no joy. The man from Cheongju, who they call Hercules locally. He is the man in 8th place in the Paralympic rankings. Right now, he is going to the Tokyo Paralympic Games. His target, obviously, to boost up that 147 to avoid being overtaken. The man immediately above him, Parvin Mamedov, has lifted 3 kilos more than that, and obviously Bayor with 143 trying to overtake at least one of them to try and get his Tokyo ticket. Choi 145. It looked good, and it was a whiteout. All 3 referees technically happy with it. And that is the lead for Choi Kyun-Jin. If he keeps going that way, he'll be looking to attack his 147 next and to really make an impact on his Paralympic ranking and maybe push it up into 7th spot. Mamedov, Choi and Bayor have a lot to fight for right now.
The one is loaded for his first attempt representing Azerbaijan.
And after those few mentions of Parvin Mamedov of Azerbaijan, here he is. The reigning European champion from Berck-sur-Mer in northern coastal France in 2018. Echo World Cup gold medalist 2019 in Hungary. 7th in the worlds in Nur Sultan 2 years ago. He's lifted 150 this season. It has him 7th in the Paralympic rankings. At the moment, it has him going to the Paralympic Games. This to start off is 148 for Parvin Mamedov of Azerbaijan. Oh yes! A whiteout for Mamedov. at 148, and he's ready to attack his Paralympic ranking as well, and trying to make sure that he's on his way to Tokyo also. Quick down and up, and clean, and good. In terms of those Paralympic rankings, there's a real leap above Mamedov and Choi. 12 kilos from Mamedov in 7th to David Dekcharev of Kazakhstan in 6th. As Nandor Tunkel comes in. He too targeting the Paralympic rankings, and 150 with his first lift here would put him on the board straight away. And suddenly would put him in contention of qualifying for the Paralympics. He's not on the board right now, and he won bronze in Rio. So it's a level he's accustomed to. Gold in the recent Tbilisi World Cup. He's got it! He's into the lead! And it puts him into the top 8 in the chase for the Paralympic rankings. He's on 150, Mamedov on 150 as well now. That a whiteout for Nandor Tunkel, and the chase for the top 8 to qualify for the Paralympic Games is well on now. So what that lift means is that Choi Kyun-jin is suddenly out of the top 8 in the Paralympic rankings to determine who will be in this final in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Also not currently on the list is Vladimir Balinets of Russia, the reigning world champion. European champion in 2013 and 2015. Alexin in Russia and Eger in Hungary respectively. And his first round attempt is 160. Balinets for Russia. Asian Open gold as well in 2015 in Kazakhstan. And Balinets is there with a whiteout, 160 for him. And he is our new leader. And suddenly Mamedov and Choi have been knocked out of the top 8 in terms of the Paralympic ranking, first by Tunkel, then by Balinets. And they're going to have to go a little bit higher. Balinets going to... That puts him 7th in the Paralympic ranking, so there's a big three-way battle between Tunkel, Mamedov and Choi. And realistically, whoever finishes highest out of those 3 today is booking their place in the Paralympics final. Omar Karada of Jordan, who's lifted 175 this season, going for 170 today. Silver in Rio, silver in Beijing, missed London, silver in the last 2 World Championships, having been World Champion in 2010, and he is the reigning Asia Oceania Champion too. 170 for Karada. For the lead. For a considerable lead. And he's there with a whiteout. All three referees approving. And the crowd of coaches and athletes, and quite a few of them, approving too. Cracking lift, he's into the lead, and he's only 5 kilos off his best in terms of the Paralympic ranking. Well, that round has certainly blown wide open the race for the top 8 for the Paralympic Games. So into round 2, and it is Haj Ahmed Bayor again, aiming for 143, which would match what he's achieved this season in terms of his heaviest weight for the Paralympic ranking. He had been in 10th spot in those rankings, and now he's 12th. So 143 for Haj Ahmed Bayor. It would keep him in 6th place in the competition. It would match his best of the season in terms of trying to get a spot into the Paralympic Games. Twice an African Games silver medalist. And Bayor at 143. He liked it immediately, and so did the rest. A whiteout for him. All 3 referees more than happy. Improves his mark by 3, and what does he do now? Does he go chasing something big in order to try and get into the Paralympic Games? Having a ball. Well, suddenly Choi Hyunjin has seen himself fall from 8th in the Paralympic rankings down to 10th. 148 to surpass his best lift of the season, which is 147. And it has obviously been a long season in terms of the qualifying road to Tokyo. surely there'll be an awareness for him as to what's happened. Ballinets and Tunkel weren't on that board, aiming for the top 8 places for Tokyo prior to today, but they're on it now. And boy, are they on it. It's bad news for him, it's bad news for Mamedov, it's bad news for Bayor, frankly. Good news for Tunkel, who's currently on it, and you can say it's a 4-way battle really for that 8th and final spot. Makes this lift of 148 all the more crucial. Has to nail this. He did. Got enough elements right. It is a whiteout. 148 puts him 2 kilos off the top 8. Puts him 4th in the competition. It matches Mamedov's lift, but Choi is slightly lighter in body weight, so goes above Mamedov in the head-to-head into 4th spot.
Representing Azerbaijan,
Mamedov can leap back up again, and not just that, but climb from his current 5th place into 3rd. It is a target for 153, and this is a target for Mamedov to go back into the top 8 again in terms of the Paralympic ranking, to put himself into 8th. Mamedov has lifted 150 this season. Tunkel has now done that as well today. 153 would see him move back up. I think he's got it. 2-1 in his favour, and he is up into 3rd here, and he's up into 8th in the Paralympic rankings above Tunkel, who's been knocked out again. But his right to reply will be instant. Brilliant lift by Parvin Mamedov. Well, this is quite a competition, not just for the battle for the medals, but for the battle for the places in Tokyo. Nanna Tunkel jumped into the top 8 for Tokyo. Into 7th, knocked down to 8th by Ballinets, now knocked down to 9th by Mamedov. Tunkel targeting 154. From the Power Station Club. Some like it hot. He loves it hot. A whiteout. All 3 referees giving him the nod. He climbs back into 3rd here. He climbs back into 8th in the Paralympics race. Game on. Belting lift, he did it right. And he is back achieving what he wanted to do. And as you'll see, the officials and the jury usually have the one desk. They're all sat perfectly alongside each other. That's not the case still. But it's great that we are actually getting World Cup events again and international competition again in person. Ballinet's aiming for 168 and an improvement of 8 kilos, and he's not wasting any time. The reigning world champion from Nur Sultan 2 years ago. Lifted 180 before, did 173 to take victory in Nur Sultan. What about 168 here and now? Not an issue, a whiteout. All three referees going for him, 168. That puts him fourth in the Paralympics rankings. He is going to Tokyo, no doubt about that. Cracking lift.
The bar is loaded for his second attempt representing Jordan, Omar Karada.
One lift to go in this round, and it is Omar Karada. Former world champion in 2010, the reigning Asia Oceania champion, and the twice Paralympic silver medalist, and silvers in the last 2 world championships as well. This kilo under what he has previously achieved this season. $174 for Karada. A good solid push through. A good lift, a whiteout. 174. And maybe Ballinets might have been putting a small bit of pressure on, but that's been lifted now. 174 for Karada, and that was a belter. All good.
The bar is loaded for his third and last attempt representing Algeria. Haj Ahmed.
Karada leads 174, Ballinets in second 168, Tunkel ahead of Mamedov, not just in the battle for bronze here, but also the battle for qualifying for the Paralympic Games. It's 147 for Beur. 147 was 8th place in the Paralympic rankings about 20 minutes ago. 8th place is now 154. What an amazing battle. So Bayor 147. Taking a lot of time to compose himself and to try and get the lift up, and he got it up. That'll do. 3 for 3. 2 out of the 3 referees giving him that. It has happened in the opening round, and Bayor has cleared every mark. 147. It'll be on the reserve list for Tokyo. Good job. And that's precisely what he's wanted to do all 3 occasions. So Choi, he's going for this big time. 155 he requires. This to get into the medals today. This to get back into 8th place. And whoever wins bronze today has the bonus of knowing that they are in the top 8 for Tokyo. Balinot looks well safe on 168. Degtarev 162 in the Paralympic rankings. So in 8th place is Tunkelan 154. 9th is Mamedov 153. 10th is Choi 148. This to go 8th in the Paralympic rankings, to go into the bronze medal position here, and to qualify, fingers crossed, for the Paralympic Games. The others have the right to reply. Choi for 155. It is not going to happen. Choi misses out on the medals, and he's on the reserve list for Tokyo. Was lying 8th in the Paralympic rankings this morning, and now he has fallen to 10th. And that's the one he wanted. He's on standby for the Olympics, and the Paralympics are on standby for him. It was just too much. It stopped and then it went down, and that's where the spotters leap in. And they're burly men for a reason. I could do with a few of those. It's early. It's very, very early. So there's 4 to lift. And what a brilliant joust. And I should tell you, by the way, that was the first no lift of Group A. We'd had 13 successful lifts in a row, and that was the first miss. Nanda Tunkel aiming for 157. He's in the bronze medal position, this to make it a little bit more secure. Mammadov also going for 157, but Tunkel's body weight is lighter. So Tunkel would stay in the bronze medal position unless Mammadov aims heavier. Tunkel lying in 8th place in the race for Tokyo and the Paralympic Games. Tunkel won Paralympic bronze in Rio. Tunkel for 157 and the effort and the grimace and the reward. He's got it. 157 Fernando Tunkel. He's looking good for bronze. He's looking good for Tokyo. A major result for Hungary. A major result for him.
The one is loaded for his third and last attempt, representing Azerbaijan, Mammadov.
Tunkel had lifted 155 for bronze in the Paralympic Games. He's had to go heavier to make it to the Paralympics. Now this is 157 for Mammadov. Tunkel's body weight is lighter. Mammadov will not go above 4th if he gets this. Obviously he'll join Tunkel at 157 in the Paralympic rankings. Mammadov, the reigning European champion. He's got it! On a 2-1 margin, he has got it. Mammadov and Tunkel both clearing 157 kgs. It keeps Mammadov in 4th place. And I make him 9th in the Paralympics race. He is the first reserve. It's hard luck on Choi. He had to go heavier this morning, quite a bit heavier than he's gone this season, having started in 8th in the morning in the Tokyo battle. He's 10th now. Mammadov's gone from 7th to 9th. Tunkel's gone from nowhere, 1st to 7th and then 8th. There's a big battle going for gold as well here. Karada for 175, just like Balinets. $175 for Karada. For Jordan. To match his best of the season, he's got it. A whiteout. A fabulous lift by Karada. And that was just tremendous.
176 corrected.
We're not that far away from world record territory. That's 183.5 for Li Van Kong. That of the World Championships in Mexico in 2017.
bar is loaded for his third and last attempt, and maybe...
Balinets was going for 175, but because Karada's cleared that, because Balinet's body weight is a little heavier, 176, aiming for the gold. This will also match Yakubu Adesakan's best lift of the season. Karada's matched his of 175. Balinets was not on the Paralympics ranking list going into today. He's put everything onto today. He is going to Tokyo. This for 176. To go right at the top of the pile. Nobody will have lifted heavier than this season. And he will match Yakubu for the best of Paralympic ranking season, which was obviously extended quite a while.
One minute.
You can see the strain in the arms. That was asking a lot more this time. And he has no lift on that. It's a strikeout. 168 is his best, but he still gets the silver medal. Dramatic for so many reasons. Balinets gets the silver. Balinets is fourth in the Paralympics ranking. It's a lot more of a public race this time.
184 kilograms.
And it's all the more interesting for it. And we only had 2 misses out of the 18 lifts in Group A. Kurada takes the gold with 175. Balinets the silver 168.
184.
And Tunkel on head-to-head gets the bronze. 157. Narrowly lighter in body weight than Parvin Mammadov by about 800 grams. Great competition. And that race for bronze ultimately turning into a race for 8th place for Tokyo, and the men in 4th and 5th there. Mammadov and Choi, and indeed Bayor in 6th. For now, missing out for Tokyo, but their first reserves. And now we're looking for something special.
The bar is loaded, ladies and gentlemen, to the 4th attempt, and if broken it will be a new world record for the 49 kilograms bodyweight category, representing Jordan Omar Karada.
So we go into powerlift territory, an attempt to the world record by Omar Karada. The world record of 183.5 held by Lee Van Kong. And Omar Karada obviously feels that he's got a shot at this. He's adding 9 kilos to the bar from which he previously successfully lifted. A big moment leading into the Paralympics. So 184, the world record attempt for Omar Karada. straining. He's not got that up straight, I don't think. Well, let's see. Oh, 2-1 against. He was really close to it. He doesn't get it. It was a valiant try. He gets the gold. He almost gets the world record. And that can be a target for him for Tokyo and the Paralympic Games. Omar Corrado wins the Dubai World Cup, the FASA World Cup. Just that right arm for me was causing the trouble, and you could just see facially, okay, there was a bit of a struggle. I don't think that bar was straight anyway, but one of the referees was happy from his angle. All he needed was one more, and that was it. The world record was his. Well, the gold is his, the silver to Balinets, and the bronze to Nandor Tunko. And we're back in half an hour with the women's competition and the up to 45 kg final. And if it's got even half the drama of that, it's going to be quite something. Join us again soon for that, please.